they added, like, I guess they're starting a season system this season, this spring. True to what they said they were going to do with the winter stuff when they had the snowfall. They changed the seasons now, so now it's early spring, and I don't know what early spring means exactly, but, you know, different weather effects. And they also said that they made the wind more dynamic, which terrifies me. And then the biggest thing here is that they added a BTR to woods. So now we can get clapped with a 30 millimeter from, like, who knows how fucking far away through who knows how many trees, and just get, like, absolutely shit dunk murdered from forever away by the BTR. I'm really looking forward to seeing many clips of people dying to shit they never saw. They also said that they added a suspension system to the BTR, which will be interesting because I want to see that thing, like, rolling over terrain and stuff. That'll be kind of cool. And then this, where they said they opened the gates to northern and southern UN roadblock. It allows the BTR to drive outside the location. These exits are under sniper fire beyond the gates. Kind of interesting. And then they split Ground Zero, and this is something that Nikita said that they were going to do, like, forever ago, but never actually got around to it, and they finally did. So now under level 20, there's a set lobby for under level 20, and then a different lobby for over. And then they have, like, increased scav difficulty, better loot, airdrop plane chance, and then a scav boss that'll appear, like, over level 20, which is interesting. And then modified a bunch of the quests. So then, of course, the question is, like, all right, so the quests, so if you got over level 20 in Ground Zero and you still had these quests outstanding, they just failed. So the question is, like, okay, so now if I'm over level 20 and now they don't fail anymore, but I never finished them, do I get those quests back? Probably not. Still interesting, though. Adjusted the sound system, but it doesn't say, like, updated indoor rain ambient, smoother transitions between day and night, smoother transition between in and outside, improved the audibility through door and window openings, added the external sound suppression while inside the BTR. So whether or not, like, none of this makes it sound like the audio was made more accurate. It just sounds like it's smoother, I guess is the word that they used. So that of course, like, audio issues in Tarkov, no one's ever heard of such a thing. Then, then they added damage and pen stats to the ammo screen. So, like, when you open up the little inspector window to, like, look at stats on your armor or whatever, you can do that with ammo. When hovering over the pen stat, you can see penetration chance against certain armor classes. So we actually were finally fucking given damage and pen stats for ammo in-game. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. What they didn't show, though, what it doesn't sound like they showed was velocity, but I think that's already in the tooltip, right? It already gives you the velocity of the ammo. So, plus, like, when it's loaded into the rifle, it also gives you the velocity of the ammo when it's in the rifle. So, 7 years in to add that to the game, yeah. They had ammo stats in Arena. The question was like, why aren't you just giving ammo stats to people in the core game if it's already in Arena? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't make any sense. Just put it in the game. Keep it, like, all of that stuff. Any of those resources that are available on, like, different websites and shit, like the wiki and, like, that kind of stuff. I mean, spawn rates being what they are, okay, fine. But the rest of the shit, like, just put it in the game. Like that in the announcements that you make on Twitter and stuff, put them in the launcher. Like, have pop-ups show up, especially when it comes to, like, cheater detection and shit. People getting banned for no fucking reason, or, like, you know, when they made the macro changes and they didn't tell anybody, you know, or like visual filters that would get people banned but didn't tell anybody they were doing it, aside from, like, socials that a lot of people don't read. I've always said that shit just needs to be in game. You can inspect somebody's player profile from their dog tag now, which is interesting. Report a player in their profile page, so that's huge too. So now, instead of it being like a thing where you have to report them at, like, the end of round, you can pull up their profile and then report them from their profile page. Unfortunately, this also means that people that are actually kind of legit, that have just really good stats, are going to end up getting fucking mass reported by people. Or if somebody finds, like, Landmark's profile, they're just going to end up, like, spam reporting people that are, like, a little bit more on the famous side, just to fuck with them. So there's going to be, like, a little bit of extra dev work going on for people trying to make sure that they don't get clapped because of mass reports. Hopefully that stuff isn't, like, AI generated and they don't have some, like, auto fucking ban feature, because that's really going to screw with shit. They pull a World of Warcraft, you know? Optimize algorithm for searching for cover for AI. Change the lighting inside Ultra Mall. Wait, what? Wait, hold on. They've revamped the lighting in Interchange again. So, and for those of you that don't know the story with Interchange, okay? The lighting on Interchange was handmade by Nikita. The reason why the lighting on Interchange hasn't been modified and it's always been relatively dark is because Nikita has always put a line in the sand about how Interchange lighting is supposed to be. They've tried to, so I have heard in the past, other devs that were working on, like, the Interchange expansion tried to make Interchange brighter. Nikita vetoed it. So hopefully he's come around a little bit, and now this is actually going to be something that works. We'll have to see, I guess. Added a sound signal before BTR departs. Improved hit reg when the player tilts in quick succession. So improved hit registration when the player tilts in quick succession. So I'm guessing this is like the battle bit jiggle peak bullshit where like people will wiggle back and forth as they're firing to try and keep from getting hit. It was probably messing with hit reg. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Vaulting climbing mechanics. Vault the previously unblocked positions. Windows of the health resort. Okay, so now you can vault through windows of the health resort. on like 1 and stuff. That's interesting because before you weren't able to like go through any of those windows. So if that's repaired, that's going to be huge. That actually changes how the resort gets approached in a lot of different ways. Damage calculation for limb penetration. Thank God. Maybe arms aren't the greatest armor in the game anymore. Because if you ran around with a candid sight, your arm would cover about 40% of your chest. So it was like the best armor in the world because you couldn't penetrate arms. Like Airwing did ballistic tests where people were shooting arms with the mounted 50 cal and it wasn't penetrating. Like they were shooting each other with ridiculous stuff and it wasn't going through their limbs. Inability to pick up loot at the Tarkov Business Center and streets. PS drop in offline raids, vaulting over medium obstacles options, damage registration after ricochet, visual effect of painkillers when using NVGs, inability to view a player's profile when using flea market, incorrect damage to the player when walking into a non-moving BTR. Yeah, so this was fun. Return the display of ricochet chance info for helmets. Incorrect camera tilt if the player was leaning while aim shooting. Oh yeah, sometimes the camera would go backward, right? Like you'd lean to the right and it would go left. That was around from like the beginning of the last like major patch. That's surprising. Well, I guess I was gonna say it's surprising that it took them this long to get to it, but it's not really, is it? I died a lot peeking and unpeeking. Yeah. 5 years to fix painkillers and night vision. Well, they've gone through like multiple iterations of the painkiller thing, right? Like there was like the over sharp, like everything went over sharp and it got like super grainy. And then there was that thing where they made like what was the one in between where like your vision got like a little blurry or something, and that was horrendous. And it was like blurred on the outside edge, but it was clear in the center. And then they changed it to whatever it is now, right? The blur phase was bad. And now it's like they just made it like black and white around the edges, which I thought was fine. Like with them washing the color out, I thought that was fine. When I played at the beginning of the wipe, I was good with that. I thought that was cool. That seemed like the best of both worlds, you know, like it didn't become over sharp, but you still got the painkiller effect and you could still see fine, you know. I thought that was fine. But yeah, when they were going through like iterations of what painkillers were supposed to do, that was pretty rough. Nikita isn't a dev anymore. He's a DJ. He probably doesn't know. Jesus Christ. I don't know. Maybe at some point we'll grab Fudge and Jay or something. We'll go check it out, or I'll get Batty. Maybe they can tour us around and, you know, kill us for fun or something. Yeah. Anyway, looks like a cool patch. I like the changes. You know, at least they're doing something different, like with the season system. It's just like I would love if they would just dedicate some real resources to fixing like even just the audio system. You know, because Oculus Audio, in and of itself, Oculus Audio isn't a bad engine. It's just how it's been implemented, like how they've been trying to do this like patchwork stuff over the old audio engine that Tarkov has had to try and make it work. There's just so much confusing shit that goes on, especially like in, you know, stairwells and everything. It's so hard to make this engine work right. That and like the 80 meter, like if you have binaural on at about 80 meters, there's like this audible pop that happens when somebody comes into range of you, where it's just like, and you can hear it like plain as day. It's like audible radar as soon as you start noticing it. The pop is ridiculous, and they didn't say anything about how they've fixed that or tried to fix it. You know, there's nothing here about that at all. It's just like transition stuff, which is fine, but it's more like that's more like fluff than anything, you know? Like if they could get the direction shit down and fix the pop, it would do so much more for the game than the threshold transition stuff. I would rather they just made sure that the directional audio worked really well and then worked on, you know, all of the occlusion issues that they've got after the fact, but they haven't even gotten like that core piece right. So I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know. Like it's one of those, I keep saying like, hopefully they'll get it right. But at this point, like it's been 7 years, like who knows? And I hate to sound like a fucking downer, because I know that like the comments on the YouTube video are instantly going to be like, oh, there he goes, just hating on BSG again. You know, it's just like, well, you start losing faith after this much time, you know? It is what it is.